Let me ask you a hard question. If I gave you $1 million today, would you actually be ready to handle it? Or would it disappear, just like every paycheck you've ever spent without realizing where it went? The brutal truth is this: becoming a millionaire has far less to do with luck, talent, or even a brilliant business idea, and far more to do with mindset, habits, and daily discipline. This video isn't about fantasy, it's about patterns. The patterns that separate those who only dream of wealth from those who build it brick by brick. If you think millionaires are just lucky people who had connections or magic timing, you've already lost. Because the real millionaires, the self-made ones, are not different species. They just have different habits. Today, we're going to break down those habits one by one, not in vague cliches, but in brutally honest truths that you can apply immediately. If you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of waiting for life to change, then this is your wake-up call. Watch till the end. This might just be the moment that rewires your future. Habit no one. Millionaires think in systems, not moments. Most people live their lives from paycheck to paycheck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they only think about today. They spend without tracking. They react to life instead of designing it. Millionaires operate on systems. They don't just work hard, they make sure their hard work compounds. They automate investments. They track income and expenses. They measure ROI on time and money. Their life is structured even if it looks free from the outside. They know how much they earn per hour, and they treat every minute like money in motion. If something wastes time, it's cut. If something creates value long-term, it's multiplied. Systems create freedom. Not luck, not waiting, systems. Habit no. 2. Millionaires read, reflect, and apply. We live in a world where endless information is just one click away. Yet most people scroll through life passively, collecting useless content and hoping inspiration will somehow translate into transformation. Millionaires do it differently. They don't just read to feel smart. They read to evolve. They take notes. They reflect. They implement. A millionaire doesn't read 52 books in a year just to brag on social media. They might read 5, but those 5 change how they think, act, and build. They read to solve problems, expand vision, and sharpen judgment. Most importantly, they don't just consume, they apply, because knowing is nothing without execution. Habit no. 3. Millionaires master self-control. Impulse is the enemy of wealth. Let that sink in. The average person chases dopamine, short-term pleasures that sabotage long-term success. Whether it's buying things they don't need, watching content that adds no value, or wasting time on drama, it all comes down to a lack of control. Millionaires master themselves before they master money. They say no more than they say yes. They delay gratification, they fast, they meditate, they work out, not just for health, but to sharpen their edge. Because if you can't control your appetite, your attention, or your emotions, money will always control you. You cannot build wealth if you're enslaved to your impulses. Habit no. 4. Millionaires build before they broadcast. Look around today and you'll see thousands of people posting, flaunting, and preaching success, while they're still broke, still lost, still unsure of who they really are. Millionaires don't operate like that. They build in silence. They let results speak louder than posts. They don't need validation to keep going. They create proof before promotion. While others are busy looking successful, they're busy becoming it. That's why when millionaires show up, they don't need to explain themselves. Their track record does the talking. If you're truly serious about wealth, stop trying to impress the world and start building something the world can't ignore. Habit no. 5. Millionaires think long-term. Always the poor think in days. The middle class thinks in months. The wealthy think in decades. That's the difference. A millionaire doesn't ask, how do I make fast money? They ask, how can I build something that outlives me? Every decision is filtered through that lens. They avoid shortcuts because they know shortcuts often lead to setbacks. They invest in things that take time to grow: real estate, skills, businesses, networks. They plant seeds constantly, knowing some won't sprout for years. But when they do, the growth is unstoppable. If you're always looking for the next quick win, you're playing the wrong game. Millionaire habits are rooted in patience and vision. Habit no. 6. Millionaires obsess over ownership. Here's the raw truth no one wants to hear. You will never get rich working for someone else. Yes, you can earn a good living, but true wealth comes from ownership, not ours. Millionaires understand this. They own businesses, intellectual property, stocks, real estate, assets that make money while they sleep. They don't just work hard. They make their money work harder. They create products, not just labor. They buy equity, not just toys. They think like creators, not consumers. Every time you spend money, you either move closer to ownership or further from it. The rich understand this instinctively. Do you? Habit no. 7. Millionaires learn, unlearn, and relearn. What made you successful yesterday might hold you back tomorrow. The world is moving fast. Technology, markets, skills, they evolve daily. Millionaires stay agile. They're not married to their beliefs. If a system stops working, they pivot. If an opportunity shows up, they're ready. They're students first, always. While others cling to comfort zones and outdated knowledge, the 1% reinvent themselves over and over again. They are not afraid to start over. They are not afraid to be beginners again. They value truth over pride. That's why they adapt, grow, and rise while others stagnate. Habit no. 8. Millionaires protect their circle. Energy is everything. Millionaires know that who they surround themselves with will either fuel their fire or drain their soul. They don't tolerate drama, gossip, or small thinking. They don't let toxic relationships linger. Their circle is intentional, filled with people who think bigger, do more, and raise the bar. They invest in mentors. They distance themselves from comfort clingers because they understand one weak voice in your ear can sabotage years of progress. Protect your circle like your future depends on it, because it does. Habit no. 9. Millionaires repeat what works relentlessly. The average person gets bored and quits. The millionaire gets bored and keeps going. They don't chase shiny objects. They find what works and do it over and over until it becomes an empire. Whether it's a sales call routine, a workout plan, or a morning ritual, consistency beats novelty. They don't need variety. They need results. Repetition creates mastery, and mastery creates momentum. Success isn't complicated, it's just brutally consistent. The only reason it feels out of reach is because you keep changing directions every week. Habit no. 10. Millionaires take radical responsibility. Millionaires don't blame. They don't complain. They don't wait for someone else to fix their life. They own everything, the wins and the losses. If something's wrong, they fix it. If they fail, they learn. No excuses, no entitlement. That's the energy of wealth. While others spend their lives pointing fingers, the 1% point the mirror at themselves. Because you cannot create freedom if you're always outsourcing your power. Radical responsibility is the gateway to radical success. Stop waiting for better conditions. Build them. If you're still here, you're not like most people. Most people tap out before the truth hits deep. But you stayed. You listened. You absorbed. Now the question is, will you act? Because this video means nothing if you don't implement even one of these habits. You don't need all 10 on day one. You need one habit practiced daily until it becomes your standard. Then another, then another. That's how you stack your way into greatness. Millionaires don't rise from motivation alone. They rise from discipline, structure, and ownership of their time, mind, and life. This is Motivational Mentor, and I'm telling you, everything you want is waiting on the other side of your daily decisions. Pick one habit. Start today. Comment below which one hits you the hardest. And remember, the gap between rich and poor starts in the mind, and it's closed by action. Let's go.